Okay, in this video we're checking out this new frame from Spintech Motors. This is called the Slipstream. It's a update or upgrade to the race series that he had a while back. This is the 2.5-inch version, and instead of a sort of a TrueX frame, this is a hybrid frame. So it's basically a TrueX and a StretchDex combo. So you have the motors in the back here are further apart, and their motors in the front are closer together, which gives us some really good handling flight characteristics, especially since this is meant for racing. And he's put these braces here in the front and the back, and a little bit different design here with the battery mount in the bottom here, and also the way the pod is set up. This is a new part here. This little basically it's a canopy, and it's made out of Lexan. It's vacuum form molded, and there's a CPU part here in the front that mounts the camera, and then there's a little part back here for your VTX antenna. You can see that it goes in through here and zip tied here. So I can tell you that this thing has over the last few months has gone through several iterations and changes. This is very, very robust. It's I wouldn't say it's indestructible, but pretty close to a tank frame as any you'll see out there on a 2.5-inch platform. And if you're hitting gates and racing a 2.5-inch, this is going to take quite a lot of abuse. I have crashed this a lot, as you can see. Lots of dirt, grass stains. I've crashed this so much that I've destroyed my VTX antenna. This is the last flight I took. Yeah, this thing kept on breaking into little pieces and eventually just popped right off. But as you can see, the frame's totally fine. As I said, 4mm bottom plate, and with the arm braces there, you can pretty much hit, most hard anything kind of obstacles, such as those gates that we were hitting, and not a problem. Not even, sometimes not even bed prompts. Yeah, it's a very, very solid, very tough frame. So if you are looking for a frame that's going to take a lot of abuse, this is going to be good, because with these little TPU parts here, you're not going to get any delaminations on the arms here. It protects the motors. The stack's relatively well protected, as you can see here. Nothing's going to really get into that stack area here. Camera is very well protected as well, and it's an adjustable angle. You can adjust the camera angle as far up as you want, so you can get like monster amounts of camera tilt. It's got this pretty cool battery pad on the bottom here for mounting the battery. It's got this little lip here so that the battery can't get ejected forward. So a lot of good features on this frame. It is beefy, so obviously that's a trade-off. If you want something that's going to be very robust and handle crashes, it's going to be heavier. I'll show you the weight here in a second. Parts here, nothing too crazy. You got the Spintech motors, of course, 1304s, 5200 kV. Running this on 4S. I was running it on a GNB 554S. That seems to be pretty good. I think if you go to a bigger battery like 650 should be okay, but probably don't want to go too much heavier on the 2.5-inch prop. The stack in here, I'm finally talking about this stack, this is a SkyStar stack. I have made a video as like sort of an alternative stack to the Mamba stack from Diatone. It's very similar to the Diatone stack in terms of specifications, and this is why this people are wondering where the video was for this, is because this frame has been under development for a while and hasn't been released yet, so now I can talk about that. You'll see how this stack performs. And then I have I think it's an HGLRC TX20 video transmitter there, and the camera here is a Caddx Ratel camera. And then the FreeSky XM Plus receiver is actually buried under the camera. There's a little space here, and you can probably see there that the receiver, that's the screw, but the receiver is actually underneath this little plate here. You're probably not going to be able to see that. I'll just put up some photos. And there's a little spot there for the receiver. You can stick that there. The motor wires come out here, as well as I just put some zip tie here, and then the antenna comes out here. So it's a solid build here. The build's pretty straightforward. I did put a capacitor in the back here. There's one standoff in the back here that I have a capacitor heat shrunk to, and then you have your battery coming out the back like so. But this is a solid setup for racing. Very, very robust. If you're worried about breaking stuff, I would not be too concerned about breaking things. This frame has gone through a lot of testing to make sure that nothing, unless you have a really super severe crash, not pretty much outside that, nothing will damage this frame. You'll be able to just crash and then keep on flying, which is important. So this thing, as you see here, built with these parts, and of course the parts list will be down in the description. This is coming at 121.9 grams, and then with the battery, you're looking at looks like about 189, almost 190 grams, so well under the 250 gram registration limit. Now, I wanted to show you the canopy here again. Obviously, I painted this one white. I just spray painted the inside here white. You can go kind of nuts with these and get some. If you get very artsy, you could probably paint this and get very creative. So most people they'll paint the inside here, and then as you crash and stuff, it's not gonna, and the outside part here is not going to be painted. It's just not gonna, the paint's not going to get scratched off. You could also do hydro dipping as well. I've seen people do that for these kind of canopies, of course. But then when you crash and hit something, you do run the risk of the hydro dip, the decal getting peeled off on some of those crashes. So something to keep in mind. I just didn't have time to. I was going to paint this another one here because this is actually the final version of the canopy. This is actually a prototype. But now was probably going to paint it white and maybe like a red strip or something here to match the props. That might be looking pretty good. So if I do that, I'll probably put a photo of that up on my Instagram. I think Colin is going to be painting up a bunch of these as well. He'll be putting those up on his Instagram as well. So check his Instagram out as well. If you guys have any questions, let me know. All the parts to everything here will be down in the description. And of course, I'll show you additional flight footage here of us chasing each other around the little track that we had at the park. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.